InfoWars has more than 15 YouTube channels and about 3 million subscribers. Our main channel has 1.854 or 1,854,000 plus subscribers. Now, they've been gaming the system for a long time to shut down nationalistic or patriotic media, saying we're right-wingers, saying we're extremists. Well, it doesn't matter who we are. We have a right to free speech, don't we? As long as we don't violate the rules. Well, now Zuckerberg has come out and said he's going to restrict conservative news like communist China does, calling it fake news. And Google, that owns YouTube, has announced, and they've done it now 2 weeks ago, that they're going to basically make you click the bell in your notifications. We're going to show you how to do that, or you won't get all the channels that you've subscribed to, and you won't get the videos. Now, why are they doing this? It's more than just censoring. They want you to see the videos that they feed you below and beside the videos you're looking at that are corporately sponsored so they make more money. They're taking the you out of YouTube. So we're in this information war, and it's more important than ever that you promote the videos, that you like the videos, and that you send them on to others. Because the answer to the attempt to shut us down and restrict free speech that's openly now happening is for us to redouble our efforts. We're winning the culture war as true classical liberals that made this country great. We're restoring the Renaissance. So again, if you want to get our videos, so you can make your decision whether you want to see them or not. After all, that's why you subscribed. YouTube's had this since they started 12 years ago or whatever it was. And they're fundamentally changing it so you don't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is promoting fake news and trash news and establishment news. It's killing real independent news. But we the people, by taking action, can break the back of this system. So please, click on the bell so you get the notifications and so you get in your feed the videos and channels you've subscribed to. I'm Alex Jones for Infowars.com.
How about this? We now have Chris Supran, who is this faithless elector, made a big point of the fact that he's not going to vote for Donald Trump. He's an elector here in Texas. He was put forward by the New York Times and a lot of other media organizations. He wrote an editorial for the New York Times. He started out by saying, 15 years ago, I was a firefighter. I was part of the response to the September 11 attacks on our nation. Now we find out that's not exactly true. You know who found this out, who vetted this? Wasn't any of these national news organizations? Of course not. No, the New York Times didn't vet this guy before they gave him an editorial license here at their newspaper, featured his editorial piece, and it was an absurd piece, actually. One of the first things he says, he attacked Donald Trump's character. He says, Mr. Trump goes out of his way to attack the cast of Saturday Night Live for bias. Well, yeah, they are biased. He tweeted that out. How dare Donald Trump expose the bias of Saturday Night Live? How dare anyone expose the crimes and the lying and the collusion of Hillary Clinton and the media? Okay, that's hacking the election. And if you talk about how Saturday Night Live does that, he says this is unacceptable. Unacceptable. So I'm going to follow Alexander Hamilton, he says, in the Constitution, and I'm not going to do this. Well, I did a report on this on Wednesday because I tried to reach out to him. On Monday, I tried to reach out to him, to the people who represent him in the media, megaphone strategies. They said, yeah, no megaphone there. They've turned off the switch, and they are hiding in the closet. They don't want to talk to anybody. They never would respond to me. And as a matter of fact, they wouldn't respond really to WFAA, who did this investigation with a W call letter. I believe they went back to Virginia. They said in a heavily publicized editorial this month for the New York Times, he said that he was a 9/11 firefighter. Well, they went through and they talked to the people there in Virginia. Said, was this guy there? Well, they said he claimed to be a first responder with the Manassas Park Fire Department on September 11, 2001, and personally told us stories saying, I was fighting fire that day at the Pentagon. No, I was on a medic unit that day at the Pentagon, and you make a phone call to Manassas Park, and you'll find out he wasn't even employed there until October 2001, said a first responder who knew him. So they called him, and they found out from the city of Manassas that he was hired on October 10th, 2001, 1 month after the September 11th attacks in 2001. The fire chief then added his department didn't even go to the Pentagon. So Chris Supran who was part of a fire department in Virginia that never went to 9/11, said that he was a first responder, but he didn't even join that organization until a month after 9/11. And as one of the first responders who knows him said, it's no different than stolen valor for the military. If you dress up in a uniform, and he's still dressing up in his uniform and putting his picture out there, if you dress up and say, hey, I earned Purple Heart when you weren't even in combat, he said there's a big difference between shopping at Old Navy and being a Navy SEAL. He also, they report in this investigation by WFAA, that he claims to currently be a paramedic with Freedom EMS in Dallas, but records from the Texas Department of State Health Services indicates that there is no such company. A firm with that name used to exist in Houston, but it went out of business in 2008. It turns out that federal court records also show that he spent the last 5 years in bankruptcy while his resume says that he was working. And then WFAA says he never responded to multiple emails from WFAA and calls to his telephone go to a recording which says his voicemail is full. Same thing I got when I tried to contact him. As a matter of fact, same thing I got when I tried to talk to these never-Trumpers who said they were going to take over the RNC, the Republican National Convention, and they were going to make sure that Donald Trump didn't get elected. Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host. In this last segment, I wanted to finish up on what we're talking about, these faithless electors, because we have the Electoral College. It's going to be on Monday. And we had an article on InfoWars from Paul Joseph Watson earlier today showing some of the tweets from a Iowa elector. This guy is a doctor. He says, I'm getting inundated at my office with all this literature berating me, telling me not to vote for Donald Trump. And he goes, I'm going to keep my word. And he goes, I don't have the time and the money to handle all these requests that I'm being inundated with at the office. He goes, who's paying for this? Well, I'll give you one guess. It's probably George Soros if you go back and follow the money on this. I did a report on Wednesday, as I said. I tried to contact this guy, Chris Supran. I was going to be fair with him. I wasn't aware of the fact that he was a stolen valor firefighter, that he really wasn't, didn't even join the fire department until a month after 9/11. I was aware of the fact that he had set up a 9/11 charity, and he was also involved in the Ashley Madison hacks, and the address that was there went to his 9/11 charity. I wasn't going to question his integrity like he did Donald Trump. So I was going to be fair with him. I told him I would stick to the issue, which is the Hamilton electors. The idea that we now have these progressive lefties who have always despised the written Constitution, written law, said, oh, we got a living Constitution. All that does is give free license to judges to just decree whatever they want, to act as little dictators, because that's the definition of a dictator. A dictator dictates the law. The law is in their mouth, so you're taking dictation from them, right? It's not something that's written in a representative republic. It's just simply whatever the judges want to say. So that's what they wanted to have. They want to have a living Constitution. Yet now these people are appealing to Hamilton because evidently of that phony play where they wouldn't allow anybody to they specifically said, don't apply if you're white to be a founding father. Only person that could be white would be the villain, the king. So it's a phony representation of a phony play that they're trying to channel here. But here's the reality for these people. And as I pointed this out on Wednesday, I did a report on this. We call it, it's Faithless Federalists, Why Hamilton Electors May Face Prosecution. And go into more detail, we'll have to go in right now. But the bottom line is that there's 29 states where these people, if they listen to Hollywood, if they listen to George Soros, and if they become faithless electors, certain things are going to happen to them. As I point out here in Texas, and this is a 1952 Supreme Court decision that gave control of the choosing of electors and running of elections to the states. And the state here in Texas says that the parties can choose them and have them sign an affidavit and so forth. And they do. In both the Republican and Democrat Party, you sign an affidavit saying that you will abide by the will of the voters. And that's what they're saying they're not going to do. Now, if he goes against his signed affidavit, that exposes him to charges of perjury. It exposes him to charges of election fraud. In other states, like North Carolina, where there's also many articles about electors getting inundated by requests telling them to go against their signed statement, go against the voters, there they'll get a $500 fine and they'll be immediately replaced. See, the question is, who chose these people? And if you go back to what Hamilton said, they were to be chosen by the people in each state. It doesn't say by a faction in each state. As a matter of fact, what he said was, we want an electoral college because we want to separate this from political cabals, from political factions. We don't want to have intrigue. We don't want to foment disorder, which is precisely what they're doing. And you see the people who are running this, people like Nancy Pelosi's daughter, Christine Pelosi. That is precisely what we do have, because we're allowing these people to be selected by a political party. We need to have the Electoral College. We need to have the federalism that it represents, the firewall against corruption and concentration of power, but we don't need these people. That's it for today's broadcast. Join us tonight for the InfoWars Nightly News, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm David Knight.
Right through December 17th, the last day that we can guarantee you'll get your order before Christmas in the United States, we're offering store-wide free shipping. And on top of that, some of the biggest discounts of the year. 30% off Living Defense Parasite Cleanse. 50% off colloidal silver bullet, and free shipping. That is just an incredible deal. Brain Force Plus, now with 20% more in each bottle and 30% off. $19.95, can't beat that deal. Winter Sun, Vitamin D3, 25% off. Survival Shield, X2, Nascent Iodine, again, an amazing 30% off. BioTrue Selenium, 30% off, and that's just some of the specials. Check them out today at InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll free. The great crew will answer your questions, tell you about some of the other specials, and take your order if you'd like. 888-253-3139.